land of the grudge match. Former training partner, former friends, now will be foes and opponents across the cage. It's Jason Willett taking on Charlie Gathers. Dave, how about the grudge match, the bad blood going down in this one?
Yeah, the bad blood stem from Charlie Gathers and Hank Hanesick, Jason Willett's coach. Some stuff called out on Facebook, online, of course. That's how most grudges get started these days. And Charlie Gathers said, Jason Willett was the guy who stepped up to defend Hank Hanesick's honor. So let's go. I mean, they trained together at AMS for over a year. Charlie Gathers was quick to point out, though, when we talked to him earlier, that he only trained there part-time. That wasn't his main camp. He said he went to AMS to help Jason Willett to get better, and that he was asked and invited there. And so they were friends and training partners. But I think that maybe the actual friendship was played up a little bit more than what it was.
Whatever the situation was, whatever the circumstances behind it are, it's all going to get settled right now in the Pinnacle cage to bring out the first fighter, third man of our broadcast, Jasakuro.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pinnacle Fighting Championships will now move to the professional featherweight division. Let's bring them out. Please welcome Jason Willett.
Jason Willett.
Coming out of TMAMS, which is now known as Top Tier MMA.
I look at you and I'm like, I know it's Team AMS. What are they calling themselves now?
And another Marine veteran served in the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, did a tour in Western Afghanistan. So again, thank you. Once again, service to our country. Pinnacle FC and the Marines especially go hand in hand. The sport in general supports, they go hand in hand together.
This fight alone, Dave, I hate to interrupt you, this fight alone is just proof that if you're a local fighter, if you're a fighter in these organizations and you're doing anything, Dave McKinney knows about you. Nobody does the research and gets background better than you. Continue on.
Exactly, and Willett, the first time we saw him in Pinnacle FC, took on Kama the Death Star Worthy. Took that fight on 1 week notice after getting a win in another organization. Unfortunately, that was not his best performance, and I think he would be the first guy to tell you that, which he was. He did tell me that, and he said he's excited to show the Pinnacle fans what he can look like on a full training camp. This fight's been signed, sealed, delivered since about March, just because these guys have not liked each other for a very long time.
That says so much, Dave. We talk about it. Record 4-4. Throw the record out the window. Look at the opponents. He lost to Kama Worthy, but that was a decision loss. Anybody who can last 3 rounds with Kama Worthy is saying something. Kama Worthy's an absolute beast.
And he started out his career 3-0, now just 1-4 in his last 5. So we know he's a guy who can get some wins, get on a hot streak. So this might be the start of another one here.
Let's bring his opponent out.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out his opponent. Please welcome Charlie Gathers.
The Madman.
The Madman, Charlie Gathers, 36 years old, now training as he was before with the Dignan brothers. But when I say now, solely training. No longer with TMA, AMS, or Top Tier MMA as they're known. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, Dave. Let's jump right into it. Tell me what stands out to you among these two fighters.
Right, the big difference is the age difference here. Charlie Gathers, 36 years old, and as we talked to him earlier, been through some rough times in his life. So he is a very experienced human in general. Both guys, a lot of experience, really looking to kind of get some footing here to maybe move on further into their professional careers.
Dave, it's been a year since these two trained together. That man, Charlie Gathers, wanted to make it clear that he was a different man that you see before you today than when he trained, both mentally and physically. He wanted Willett to know that the person you train with is nowhere near the fighter that's going to walk in the cage with you here tonight. That, to me, is the interesting story, and to see how it develops, because even training once a week on Saturdays for a whole year, you're going to become familiar with the style and habits of your training partners.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Gathers said that he was asked to go there with Willett. Gathers has a very good grappling background. As you see, he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, probably a little bit better than a blue belt, more experienced. 3 submission wins as a pro, and he is a guy who's going to go out there and be very aggressive in fights. Whether win, lose, draw, he's going to be aggressive in the fight, and that's one of the reasons why promotions love to have Charlie Gathers fight for them.
Charlie Gathers feels he has an advantage, as most fighters do when they come into a cage. I have an advantage everywhere, but certainly he feels like he'd be in the most danger on the ground, so he wants to keep it on the feet. And as he said, he gave credit to his coaches. He said, I want to finish in the first round. The second round's overrated.
Yeah, and Gathers a little bit wild on his feet, but I think that's going to be where he has the biggest advantage. I agree with him there.
And that's probably why you call him the Madman. Jess Sakuro, official introductions are yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, this one many have been waiting for. This is our premier grudge match of the night. It's all about to be settled right now. 3 rounds in the Pinnacle Fighting Championships Pro Featherweight Division. And now, introducing, fighting out of our Triangle Bar and Grill, blue arc of the cage. His record: 4 victories, 4 defeats, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall. He weighed in at 144.5 pounds, representing Team AMS, fighting out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Introducing Jason the Whip Willett. And now his opponent on my right across the cage, fighting out of the Knickerbocker red arc of the cage. His record: 4 victories, 5 defeats, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing 144 pounds, representing Digning Brumball Fight Team, and fighting out of Portage, Pennsylvania, presenting Charlie the Madman Gathers. Your referee once again is Chip Snyder.
Jason the Whip Willett in the black. Charlie the Madman Gathers in the camouflage. Chip Snyder, third man in the cage. David McKinney and myself, Ryan Cavanaugh, bring you the action. Willett takes center cage. Both fighters orthodox.
And both of these guys look like they were going to sprint to the middle of the cage, and I expect to see something big there, but a tiny bit of a filling out process.
You know, a straight left by Willett, and Gathers just pushes him back with 2 hands. Left hook by Gathers, and Willett's down, back up to his feet.
There's that shot from Willett. He's going to have to.
Inside leg kick, no question about that, went. And you see Willett in the background. He's not questioning it either.
Yeah, you can hear the echo of the cup shot there.
Charlie Gathers, it looked like he was going after Willett, but he is just
psyching himself back up here.
Yeah, you know, there's certain situations you can psych yourself up for. Not one of them.
That's not one where you can walk it off either, which I think he might have been trying to do.
Yeah, no. Oftentimes you'll see fighters jump as if gravity has something to do with it. It doesn't. It's just a very sensitive subject. And if you look around the Isoplex here in Canonsburg, PA, you'll see several males wincing because they know what the feeling's like. And somewhere Joe Rogan's talking about a steel cup.
Yeah, those steel Muay Thai cups. Man, I think if anything, this is going to make Gathers more angry here to come out and be even more of a madman.
Well, I'm waiting for the madman to be unleashed. I thought, as you mentioned, Dave, it was a great point. They looked like they were going to sprint off and go at it, and then they just stopped.
I think they both wanted to claim that center of the cage. Looks like we're ready to go here again.
Glove touch, good sportsmanship. Gathers, good head movement. Both fighters with a crouch stance. Willett looked like he was going to spin there.
Yeah, either that or that inside leg kick, and maybe thought better of it.
Inside leg kick from Gathers. Solid contact.
Willett moves to southpaw here. Interesting.
Gathers looks a little bit more comfortable on the feet. Another solid inside leg kick, taking away the shot of Willett.
It looks like Gathers is keeping a low center of gravity here in order to try to defend that takedown. We already saw Willett shoot for it once. Left hook there.
And he's also pushing Willett back, and Willing's letting him do it. See, Gathers has established the front of the cage, and if he can get Willett against the cage, it's also going to hinder his ability to really get a shot off.
Yeah, and Gathers said that he looked at the Kama Worthy and Jason Willett fight and said that he thinks that he can do a better job of what Kama did in that fight of cutting off the cage. And Willett throwing a lot of kicks here, a lot of big kicks. Outside leg kick there lands.
Both fighters. You know, this is one of those fights you get the feeling that both are giving each other so much respect on the feet, but when they engage, it's going to be a flurry.
Willett with a nice outside single leg there. As Gathers gives it up. Has a hold of his neck here on the ground.
Gathers trying to prevent the takedown as Willett drives forward. Trying to turn him over. Interesting position here, this grappling, and now Willett is more safe, more control. And Willett mounts Gathers. Elbow to the face by Willett.
Gathers looking to buck him off here, but he can't.
Good shots by Willett. Scramble, and it's Gathers who ends up on top. Wow, Gathers was in a tough spot.
Yeah, Gathers looked like a little bit of like a fish out of water there, but in the end did what he wanted to do, and that was get to the top. Now back to their feet here. Is Willett looking for the single leg takedown again?
Single leg again, and the head inside. Nice job by Gathers to push him away and then catch him in the front headlock.
And this fight has almost played out a little bit as a testament to two guys who know a lot about each other.
Absolutely. And Willett, Willett just almost gave up the turtle position on the ground.
Yeah, he's looking for to roll here and put Gathers in his guard, but unfortunately Gathers doing a good job of riding the back here.
Gathers looks like he really wants to take the back as his corner tells him not to get greedy. Professional 3 5-minute rounds.
Gathers looking to throw that left hook in.
There's a big shot to Gathers. Timed it perfectly as Willett was looking over. Still, Gathers looks to get the hooks in.
Yeah, and Gathers doing a good job here, fighting hands and wrists and making sure that Willett's not able to post on that left hand.
If Gathers can get that right hand free, look for him to land punches to the right side of the face there.
Yeah, and I think he's using that right hand right now to, again, make sure that Willett can't post.
Well, right now, Willett's holding onto the wrists of Gathers. Willett's controlling the wrist, as you can see, both of them, so Gathers can't get free to strike.
Right now, Gathers with one hook in on the right side.
And Chuck is actually holding onto the left wrist of Willett, and Willett's holding the right wrist of Gathers. So interesting wrist battle, and it just turns out to be a battle of the limbs here as Gathers tries to secure hooks.
And now Gathers trying to flatten him out.
Coming short in the first round, Gathers should look to strike here.
Now Willett looking for that triangle and an up kick. That's Gathers. Makes him come back to his feet.
Willett's up. Gathers takes center cage. Oh, goes for a Superman punch, and it's Willett who lands a left to Gathers. Wow. 10 seconds, first round, and Willett hurt Gathers with that left.
Both guys swinging wildly there.
And Gathers went for a Superman punch towards the end of round one. Willett timed it perfectly and caught him with the straight left to the face. Both fighters go to the wrong corners. Sometimes you'll see one fighter go to the wrong corner, not both.
Maybe that's a testament again to training a lot with each other in the past.
Well, they've got it sorted out now. You see Gathers there spitting it out, and I wonder how much that shot to the face. I mean, it was a flush as Gathers was going for a Superman punch.
Yeah, close back and forth first round there. Both guys looked like they had the upper hand at different points in the fight. Of course, interestingly enough, maybe looked like Gathers won the grappling battle, and maybe Willett won the striking battle with that one big shot there.
How do you score the round, Dave?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the cop out there, and I'm going to say that's a 10-10 round. That's a close enough round that it's hard. Both guys, I think, did enough. Neither guy really did it enough to say that he won that fight or round, and neither guy did enough to say that he lost that round.
Just so you know, Dave, you just broke the Ryan Cavanaugh unofficial rule that you can never give a 10-10 round when calling fights.
If I had to, I would give the round to Gathers just based on him riding the back of Jason Willett.
Excellent.
More in that fight.
Excellent. Outside leg kick.
Nice right hand there, Willett.
Right. Body kick by Willett. And Willett looks to chop him down. You mentioned, Dave, in round one that Willett was using the legs. We're seeing more of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Willett looks like he may have hurt his leg there as he was wincing as he brought that leg back.
He's still throwing both of them.
Right hand.
Gathers putting the powder in the right hand, letting it loose. Take down Jason Willett.
Suck those hips in, drive through, and finish that double leg. Now Willett on top here. And the guard of Charlie Gathers, the open guard. Gathers doing a good job of breaking that posture of Jason Willett, not letting him get up and throw big shots here from inside his guard. Gathers here, you see, interestingly enough, grapevining the legs of Jason Willett, flattening him out. Maybe looking for a sweep here off of his back.
Well, you notice he's going hip to hip. Gathers is. He's constantly switching. The first thing he wants to do is keep his shoulders off the ground. And if he can get on a hip, he's going to look for a sweep.
Exactly. Looking to grab one of those arms and land a sweep too. And some elbows here off of his back from Gathers.
Nice elbows, absolutely. And there's another. Willett's had enough, fires back with a couple shots of his own.
You see those shins to the back of the thigh there from Charlie Gathers. Those aren't going to finish a fight, but they're not going to feel good either.
Yeah, in the book of offensive strikes in MMA, that's the page after the foot stomp. That's where you'll find those. Willett lets Gathers up, but welcomes him with the left to the face.
And Willett kind of known as the wrestler here, but doing a good job of landing some shots on the feet.
You can see Willett's mouth wide open. Gathers with an overhand right. And Gathers senses it. He's going in for the kill here. I really think and a left lunging left just misses Jason Willett. That's a shot that.
Man, Willett, one thing I like about Willett is he will drive through and finish his takedowns.
I'm surprised he was able to finish that one. Willett looks tired. And I think he's tapping out.
I'm not sure what.
Maybe he thought he got kicked in the face, or he put his hand up.
Yeah.
But this fight is about to be ended. Chip Snyder's going to step in. Charlie Gathers about to finish Jason Willett.
And Willett again looking to roll back into guard here, but Gathers doing a good job.
Gathers needs to push the pace here as Willett looks to be exhausted.
And Gathers now looking for that rear naked choke here.
Not quite under the chin, but Charlie Gathers looking to finish. Thumbs up from Willett.
And Willett gives a thumbs up, but he needs to be fighting hands here.
Charlie Willett, and this is almost a neck crank. 2 minutes left in the second round. Charlie Gathers. Chip Snyder's seen enough.
Wow, I'm really not sure what happened there. I didn't see a tap, but maybe we'll see if we can get a replay.
Wow, Charlie Gathers has stopped Jason Willett. Impressive showing by Charlie Gathers. That might have been a case of Willett just running out of steam, but Dave, right moments before the fight was stopped by Chip Snyder, Willett gave the thumbs up. We'll see from this angle if we can see what happened.
Yeah, and maybe it did look like he tapped there on the left arm of Charlie Gathers. And Willett not protesting the stoppage, so you know it was a good stoppage there. That's always a testament to whether or not the fighter thinks the fight should have been stopped. And good job by Charlie Gathers there, just staying tough and being really more mentally tough in this fight and just kind of grinding through and not being the first guy to gas.
And that's what it came down to. You know, obviously emotions running high in the lead up to this fight. You detailed it, Dave, the beef. Long time coming, signed in March. They finally get to do it, obviously. I'd like to think that had something to do with the cardio failing Jason Willett in the second round.
Yeah, and Willett maybe even a little bit of overtraining here.
And here you see Willett putting his hand up, and that was the beginning of the end. Certainly for me. Fighter put his hand up, Charlie Gathers, and here he's just covering up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Willett was trying to stand up, and then Gathers just kicked him off of him.
Jazz Securo's in the ring with the official decision. Jazz, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight ends with a tap out due to a rear naked choke at 3 minutes and 11 seconds of round number 2. Your winner, Charlie the Madman Gathers.
All right, I'm here with Charlie Gathers, improving his record to 5-5. That's what I thought. This was a grudge match coming in here tonight. There was some unsettled beef. We don't have to go into that, but these two had something to settle tonight, and hopefully it was settled. Charlie, man, I've been following your career for a while, man. You're a psychopath. You're not a happy guy generally. all jokes aside, man, you came in here, man, and you did your thing. You hit him with a couple punches, and at the end of the day, you came out on top. I'd have to assume that getting your first win in the Pinnacle cage, you're feeling happy, man. Tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah. The win for Pinnacle really meant more to me than this whole grudge match thing, you know. So I'm happy I came in here. I did fairly well. I didn't really do what we were supposed to do, but I got the finish, and second round's overrated, baby.
At the end of the day, I think all that matters is getting one chalked up in that W column. Anyone you'd like to thank?
All my sponsors know who they are, my coaches, of course. Octagon Fightwear hooked me up this fight. But the biggest thing I want to say is, it's my wife's birthday. So happy birthday to her, and her above more than anybody else deserves any credit, because she has to put up with my crazy ass every day. So I'm not really all that happy all the time, and I train more than I'm home, and we have 3 kids, and anyone with kids knows that the mom is where it's at. So I love you, boo.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the madman, Charlie Gathers.